But does anybody ask the white people in South Africa? Is it every white person in South Africa or every non-black person in South Africa that has their papers?
But you see, that's what you don't understand. Much and much is not going to go to areas where white people are and advocate for white people. We're not a voice for white people.
No, I'm not saying advocate.
I'm trying to make you understand how we end up it looking like black on black.
Right.
So remember, we are black people. We are in black people areas. We talk about things that affect black people. So tuck shops and these killings of children wasn't happening with white people. It was happening to us as black people, right? So when we advocate for those children that have passed away, we don't care whether it's being done by pink, orange, or green people. We care about the source of the problem. So if the source of the problem is Pakistanis, Somalians, Ethiopians, and whatever, that's who we're going to deal with. Right now, we go to these factories that are exploiting people, that are working overnight and doing that. Those are Chinese. We still don't say, oh, no, you're Chinese. We're
Have you been to Chinese factories?
Several times. Several times. I can even show you pictures of myself going to Chinese shops with the police.
Please share them with me when you're
I'll
done.
show you now.
Yeah.
So we go there with the police. We say, like, okay, these people are undocumented. We've dealt with plenty of Pakistanis, Somalians who don't have documents. It's not an issue of just black people and us fighting with black people as some people like to perpetuate. It's absolutely not. Like I keep saying, this issue is not an issue of skin color. It's an issue of documents.
But it's black people that are mostly being affected, Jacinta.
Well, that's because it's majority of them
ourselves.
that are here undocumented. There's nothing we can do about that.
But nobody's documenting, nobody's releasing any. In fact, as you rightly said, if there is no data for all the black people coming in, surely then there can't be any data, or at least accurate data for all the white people coming in.
But you see, that's where you keep
even
missing,
all the Chinese.
But that's why you keep missing my point. I'm repeating the point. You see here, we are in Chinese shops. That's me. You can see me personally dealing there with Chinese and Pakistanis and Somalians. I'll look for more of them.
I'm waiting for it to download.
And I'll show you. So what I'm trying to say is that it's not a skin color thing. It's a are you documented thing. And the reason there's more black people who are undocumented is because more of them are coming in undocumented. You understand? And as you can see, those Malawians that are over there, they can't afford to live here. Do you understand? So where are they going to live? They're going to live in those poor communities where there's poor black people. So they're the ones that are going to be complaining about them being getting what they need. Because remember, when those Malawians are going to hospital, I'm talking about those particular ones because
the ones outside,
they go to hospitals where there's other black people. So who ends up not having medication, which is something we've been suffering from all along now. There's not enough medication. There's not enough beds. There is not enough space for people to go. So you can't make it seem as if this is a race thing. It's a struggle for resources, which is what I always say. And South Africa does not have enough resources for South Africans. Then comes Malawians who are having problems with their own governments. We understand they're poor, they're sad, and all of that. But now, it's not white people that are going to be suffering when they don't have beds in hospitals. White people are fine. They don't have to deal with them. They're the ones that probably even keep them and treat them like slaves and make them work 10 hours or 15 hours a day and pay them 100 rand. You know, white people are the ones that are benefiting from those Malawians. But look at where they are now, displaced, because they don't have money to go home. Who is not paying them the money? The people that are employing them. So this is exactly what we're saying, that we cannot have a system that glorifies modern day slavery just because we're saying it's black people. It can't be. Because remember, those same white people that you guys are saying we must fight against are the same white people. They come here and they worship and they treat like gods while we're trying to fight them for a minimum wage. How do you think we're going to get the minimum wage if they're the ones going to white people and replacing South Africans as the modern day slaves? It's not going to work. So I feel like it's a one-sided thing where you're thinking that we're fighting you because you're black. But no, you're the one setting us back as South Africans because we're black. Because if you're black and you're coming to go and compete with white people then, so that we can see that you're not fighting with other poor black people. Go and compete with white people. Why not?
In that case, I have to ask, how many black people actually, I'm talking about South Africans, educated South Africans. How many of them actually compete with white people for high-paying jobs, for highly skilled jobs, for professional jobs? How many of them?
You see, the problem...
I'm just going by what you're saying.
No, I'm hearing, but that's a different conversation altogether.
Why is it?
Because these are two different classes that you're comparing.
Okay.
I'm comparing a class of poor people, and you're comparing a middle class of black people.
No, but you're saying that...
I'm going to go there with the black people who are middle class. Now, the same middle class that you're complaining about are now the same people who are part of March and March. And you know why that is?
Why?
Because South Africans who are hiring are not following labor laws. And what they're doing is we've got a host of unemployed teachers, a host of unemployed doctors, a host of unemployed civic lecturers.
Why is that?
Because the law of the country says that. Because a lot of people, I see them saying that South Africans are lazy, they just want to remove people and remove. That's not what we're saying. We're saying the country has laws, right? And if the law of the country says, before I hire you as a Nigerian, I have to make sure that there's no other South African that is qualified for the job.
Is that the law?
Right? That's the law. That's what the law says. I can send it to you just to verify. Right? That is what the current law of the country says. Currently, that is not being followed. Because in universities, in hospitals, in schools where they're supposed to be lecturers, in formal structures with municipalities and other places, South Africans are not getting jobs because they're given to other foreign nationals without following due process. Currently, even in parliament, there's a huge uproar that you must see, that the parliamentarians have asked how many foreign nationals are in our universities. Because now what happens is you come in, right, as a Nigerian, you get a good position at a university.
Oh, you mean as a lecturer?
Yes, as a lecturer,
as a professor.
or something.
Yeah, professor.
I think a lecturer is like a senior position, right? As a
professor,
head of department.
A professor, head of department, yes.
So you head that department, and naturally, the next thing you start doing is recruiting other Nigerians to come to the university that you're working at without following due process. So this is now an inquiry in Parliament currently going on, because a lot of universities are hiring lecturers who are foreign nationals in a way that they shouldn't be hiring them, because there are South Africans who are qualified. So I want you to understand that there's a fight here at the lower level of things. There's a fight even in the middle class, where South Africans are saying now we're being wiped out of our own jobs, for our own job securities. We're not saying we're not qualified. We're not saying give us those jobs because we're South Africans but give us those jobs because we qualify. You can't go to another country and look for someone who can do another job.
There's a practice of discrimination against South Africans, or is it that the jobs, because I find why it's so difficult for you to believe.
And I understand why a lot of people look at South Africans as crazy people.
No, I don't actually.
No, trust me, I understand.
I actually don't.
I'm saying I understand if you look at us as crazy
Well,
people.
I actually don't.
Because it's crazy that we're in this situation. It's actually ridiculous that we have to fight for something that's in the law and is supposed to be followed as per the law, but it's not.
But what I find hard to understand is that you are saying that if a head of department, an HOD, is hired for a university anyway, and they tend to hire a foreigner, that's what you're saying, right? And if they hire a foreigner, a non-South African, that non-South African then hires non-South Africans, perhaps from the same country or otherwise.
Zimbabweans do that a lot.
Right. So, but here's the thing though. The head of department is not the head of the university.
They are, some of them. I'm trying to show you.
Head of department.
Remember, you can be head of department, but you also can be have another Zimbabwean in HR. I'm trying to find you this thing so that you don't think I'm creating stories and whatnot.
It's not, I don't think it's that people are looking at South Africans as crazy. Certainly, I think you will find that most people would understand if, look, you are saying to government, government, we have a crisis in our hands of, our porous borders which are not being manned. We are demanding that it's manned. We are also demanding for stricter immigration laws. We are demanding for stricter laws against, for clearance at the borders.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's going to argue with you on that, Jacinta. I think what most people, whether you accept it or not, is that the rhetorics from your group, whether it's, I know there's Ayahamba, which I think it means get out, is that correct? Abahambe.
Abahambe, yeah.
Yeah, it means get out, right?
Yeah,
or something like that,
yeah.
yes. I know of those.
But get out.
What does
get
it
out
mean?
Sounds bad.
Pardon?
They must go.
They must go. There
Yeah.
you go. Well, pretty much the same. It's
get
not.
out sounds worse.
Okay. Well, no, they must go. Get out. I know of that, but those groups are not the most prominent.
Yeah,
those groups
that's what I'm saying.
are not the ones
why we're the
saying
most prominent.
30th of June.
You know what? You know why they're not the most prominent?
Why is that?
Because they've never pulled marches with the crowd that we have.
Which is why you have to accept that March has to take responsibility
for what?
For the tensions.
No, we're not.
For the anti-migrant. Because
no, we're not going to take responsibility.
If March was saying, look, we are fighting for everybody in the country because we want this country, we want government to do better by us.
Yeah.
We want that to start by government securing our porous borders. We want that to start by government putting out stricter immigration. We want that to start by government having faster, quicker, more, clearance with integrity for those who come in. With refugee. In fact, even if you were demanding, we want government to review the refugee laws in South Africa. I don't think anybody would have a problem with that at all. But what is and cannot be denied is, much as you say, those people outside, the Malawians who were outside, I think is Durban driving. That's right, old Durban driving by the sea. Much as you say, look, all of those people are undocumented, all of those people were living in these houses which are run by cartels, etc. Much as you say that, at the fundamental of it is humanity. And that is the question. Where does March and March draw the line between government's failures and humanity?
So,
given that,
can I just find out from you,
Go ahead.
in terms of humanity, what role do you think we played in them being at the drive-in, and you feel like it was our fault to create a humanitarian crisis? If I can just get clarity.
Okay, like I've just explained to you, all those other groups you mentioned, they're much smaller. March and March are the forefront.
No, it's fine. Let's say
you are the
we're
face
at the
of
forefront.
that.
I'm just trying to get...
And the rhetorics that come out is anti-migrant. You are not saying that when you are not saying
let me tell
government.
you something.
Yes.
Let me tell you something. When I started March and March, when I started March and March, even our first march was directed to the government. There was no foreign employment involvement at all. None whatsoever. You
didn't mention anything about migrants, foreigners?
Of course we talk about that because we're talking about illegal immigration.
Yes, but you were directing it.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to tell you.
What was the chant at that time? What was the...
No, it's always
your
been...
slogan?
No, it's always been Abahambe. That's not going to change.
Right, it's got to...
Because obviously Abahambe, because they're in the country legally. Because you can't tell me that, I always say, you can't tell me if you come into a country legally, you're innocent. Of course you're not. You know what I mean?
Why not?
Why are you innocent? You came into my country legally.
Okay, so...
What makes you innocent?
Let's talk about that. Okay, there are people, when people are refugees and they come into the country...
I don't...
What is that?
You see, that's why I avoid... I don't like having this conversation about...
No, let's have it. We're being honest.
You know why? Because every time we talk about this, the first position that people assume a migrant is a victim.
Okay,
Because if you're saying to me that they're a refugee, you're automatically giving them a victim label, which is not fair.
But do you not believe that there are refugees?
Not everyone is here.
No, not everyone is a refugee, I agree.
Exactly my point. Majority of the people we have here are not refugees. They're not.
But there are 7,000
Those people
refugees.
are economic migrants. They are not refugees.
How do you know? Have you seen
Because
their
they
papers?
were working.
But
They
have you
don't
seen
have
their papers?
papers.
But there are 7,000. They arguably.
So wait.
I'm just saying.
So wait.
Arguably.
You're saying
the
to me,
groups
wait. I want to find out what makes you believe they are refugees. Maybe if you can define that for me.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
From looking at them, you decided they're refugees.
No, not from looking at. I'm just saying to you, the groups who support them, okay, will tell you that these are documented refugees.
Yeah,
Permit me to finish.
Yeah,
to the point.
I'm talking about factually here. Let's talk facts. 90% of those people are undocumented, right? Most of them, majority of them, say they went there because they needed to get home before the deadline. That's what they said.
They want to go, yes.
Yes, right? So I'm asking you, from that analysis and from those statistics,
from what they said,
what makes you give them the label of refugees? Like, why?
And this is what I'm saying to you. Let's separate it. You said those who want to go, those people that have said, we've come here because we want to leave before the 30th.
Yes.
Because obviously people are petrified. They're afraid. And nobody knows what's going to happen. We'll talk about that later. I interviewed documented migrants yesterday. Right?
From where?
From Nigeria. I have them, I interview them, and they say they're documented, but they want to go because one, they're afraid. There was a man who had been here for 30 years, okay? He said, I've seen this happen many times, okay? I've seen the violence, but this one is different. He said, I go into a shop and I'm attacked. I go into this and this. His wife is there, his child is there. He said, yes, I'm documented. I've been here for 30 years. I had a business. So what I'm saying to you is, permit me, it's not just those who are undocumented
so you see,
who want to leave.
That's why I want to talk to you.
I know.
That's why I wanted you to tell me.
Yeah, I'm going there.
I want
you
to tell me when you say they're documented. I want to go
I'm
into
just saying.
What you say.
So
what
it's not
exactly
just those.
do you mean they're documented?
Well, they say they have their
why?
papers.
You don't know that, right?
Well, I'm just saying, but neither do you. You don't know the
that's
papers for all those people.
You see, that's why I want you and I to be, to try and understand each
we
other here,
are.
right? Because I'm living here, and I can grab the next South African when we come out of here, right? And ask them from the interviews that we have seen of Nigerians once they land in South Africa, how many of them do you believe are telling the truth?
So what? Nigerians are liars because that's your experience?
Not just Nigerians, no, not just Nigerians. All the people once they leave South Africa.
Once they leave?
Yes, I mean when they land in their countries.
Okay,
from what they're explaining.
Once they evacuated,
Once they start describing what was happening in South Africa. It's stories that we know are not true. Because someone will say, let me give you an example. I'm giving you an example. I'm taking you there. Someone will say, I came here on a visa. There's a man who said he was here for I think 20 years. He came here. He was, he said he had, he was an asylum seeker. Then he said his documents expired, but he was running a business. Right? Now, you know those stories don't come together, right? Because you can't have a document expire, then you're an asylum seeker. Because you must decide, Pele, if you're coming in as a visitor, you're a visitor. Then you're an asylum seeker, you're an asylum seeker. When you seek asylum, it's the first thing that you do. You seek asylum, because that's what you're here for. You can't seek asylum after a document expires. And then on top of that, you open a business. What documents are you using to open a business? These are things that you see,
right?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
But what if they had opened the business whilst they had the papers?
That's what I'm saying. You can't open a business with those documents. There are certain documents that allow you to open a business. There are others that don't. You can't open a business with an application for an asylum seeker.
I see.
You can't. You can't.
But you can open one once you're cleared as an asylum seeker.
There's in the country. There's 250,000 only refugees and asylum seekers
documented.
In the entire system.
250,000 documented.
In the entire system. So as someone who's been on the ground doing work, as you can see in the video I showed you, we literally go with the police and Home Affairs. Because we're allowed, we've got a right to do that. With the police and Home Affairs. To see these documents. What they started doing now is they take a paper. Remember, an asylum seeker document is a piece of paper.
Right,
it's nothing special. They photocopy, they stick all of them, they have the same documents. Majority of them don't have real documents. I don't know if you've seen, there's a report by the SIU that was saying exactly that, that some of them are even buying these documents fraudulently. Nigerians come here as students, majority. So I'm just trying to paint a picture of how they come in as student visas. So there's a young boy who passed away. I don't know how he passed away, not too long ago. So Nigerians are trying to get money for him to go home. Or that boy who tragically passed away as an Uber driver. So he came in the country.
Well, he was killed. He didn't pass away.
No, he was killed.
He was killed.
No, it was a crime issue.
It was a crime. Yes.
Let's
no, I'm just saying he was killed. No, that was crime.
Killed because
no, it was crime.
It was
by
a crime
somebody
issue.
in the car, a driver, a passenger that he took. Yes.
And that was very tragic. Nobody advocates for that. But when they found out his documents, he came as a student. He never went to study a day in his life. And when he was now trying to work, he was working using someone else's identity. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I'm trying to paint a picture of how people come into the country. So there's I think they said about 4,000 student visas had been issued. And all of these people are not students.
To Nigerians in how many years?
I don't know.
Okay,
I don't know the years.
you just said 4,000.
I'll send you the report
Please
so that you can see it
that
for
would
yourself.
be great.
I'll send you the report so you can see it for yourself. But what I'm trying to say too is that the problem is there's too many issues happening at the same time in the country.
Certainly.
Do you understand?
Certainly.
So we've got an issue of illegal immigration, just illegal immigrants just walking in at the border because the border is nonsense, right?
Yeah.
Then there's an increase of people who are buying documents, which of course we can't blame people, because if there's corrupt people selling documents, yes, they're corrupt. Both of them are corrupt, the buyer and the seller, right? And then on top of that, there's people who are photocopying documents, carrying them around, but they're not real documents. Even today, they caught another one who was trying to come and get a smart ID in Ndwedwe, just down the road, because there's so many fake documents in the country. I hope you understand that.
Absolutely.
And then on top of that, let me add to the problem so you have a picture. There's only 800 immigration officers in the entire country for a population of God knows how many people, because the one that was there from Stats SA says 65 million people, right? That was 2022, right? They said 65 million people, right, at the time. We don't know how many people are in the country.